A very warm welcome to you from Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. It's a city that has strong echoes of the past, mingled with the flair of modern life. It's also internationally known as the City of Gardens, and we are seeing it at its absolute best at the moment. 2,000 hours of sunlight each year. No wonder the tourists flock here. 3.5 million a year. It's also the centre of the curling world at the moment. Fans heading for the Save-On Foods Memorial Centre for the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. Day 2 of the round robin, and our feature game, Scotland against Denmark in draw 4. The Scottish fans out in force to support their team. I'm Alison Walker, and alongside me, Luke Coley, giving you live commentary on Scotland against Denmark. Danish support here too. And that is the father of the Danish skip, supporting his son.
A former competitor himself, Tom Sterne, won the bronze medal in 1990.
And played in Canada a couple of years ago in Regina. But his son has taken over the mantle now, representing Canada. Scotland with one game, one win. The Danes, one game, one loss. So here are the lineups for Scotland. Playing lead, Michael Goodfellow. At second, Scott Andrews. Greg Drummond is playing third. And the skip is 2-time world champion Dave Murdoch. Tom Brewster sitting this one out. For Denmark, lead Klosari. Second, Mikael Poulsen. Playing third for the Danes, Johnny Fredriksson. And their skip, Rasmus Sejerna. And there are the standings just after day one, really. Canada on Sweden on 2 wins and 2 losses. Scotland 100% so far, same as USA. 1-1 for China and Czech Republic. Same for Norway and Switzerland. Japan, Denmark losing out. And Finland and Russia total score as well. And here are the other matches going on in the arena this lunchtime. Russia against Czech Republic. It's United States, Japan, Sweden against China. And of course on sheet C, the one we're focusing on, Scotland against Denmark. These two teams know each other very well indeed.
And Denmark and this team will look to rebound. They had a tough first game. They didn't play very well, especially Rasmus himself, playing just 71%. He will look to improve upon that, and then it doesn't get any easier against those guys in Scotland. David Murdoch and company won their first game against Japan, so they'll play back-to-back draws in just day 2 of the competition. Yeah,
1 or 2 of the skips did struggle initially yesterday. Nicholas Edin was another one, but he came back and sorted himself out. So Rasmus will be keen to make amends for the Danes today, get his team a win on the board. Still plenty of time, but crucial for confidence to get the wins.
Yeah, you always want to try and get that first win as soon as you can. Going 0-2, you know it's a long way back because you're looking at 4 losses where the playoffs, 4 losses might not get you in. You get to 2, you almost have to run the table the rest of the week, and that becomes a daunting task for any one of these teams.
And what's very interesting as far as Scotland are concerned is this rotation system. Tom Brewster, 2-time silver medalist last year, sitting out this one, but as part of the rotation. We shouldn't be reading anything into that.
No, just the rotation. They know they have a big game tonight against Canada after this one that they'll want to have Tom in for, especially you want to put him in at the back end with combined with David Murdoch to give them a tough task, but they have a game first before that, and that's this one.
And this will be their only focus at the moment. Scotland playing first 8 games, I think, is the plan on that rotation, and then they'll take it from there, see who's been playing the best. And this is their lead, Michael Goodfellow, just 24, a lot of experience now.
Big line. Real big line. Center line it, guys. Center line it. Hey, Mike. Nice.
Kind of figured we'd see that from Scotland right away, is try and put the pressure on Denmark. They're coming off a loss in their first game, didn't play all that well. See what they can do. Don't let them go up and play the hits right off the bat.
Charles Ari, the lead, 22 years old. He shouldn't lead over it in Denmark. His mum and dad both won bronze at the European Championships, so he's got a good pedigree in the game.
And good stone position right away. Goes top 8 foot. Forces the freeze here. Michael Goodfellow is his first game. He was the man out in the rotation to start things off in their game against Japan yesterday.
So he'll be keen to get 2 good stones in there just to get things moving for him on a personal level. First game of the Worlds.
No, we're all over. All over it. All over it. Okay, on, guys.
Nice, Mikey.
A reminder, folks, of the rules of play. 6 ends minimum, 73 minutes a team, 1 coach interaction. Clock continues to run. Timing not usually an issue, but it is something the players have to be aware of.
Trying to play the freeze and ends up in behind everything, rolling off, and after even touching that front, rolls into the side of the button. So it's Denmark line 2, but Scotland can get right at it.
And that will be the plan for Scott Andrews, the second, or playing second here. 23 years old.
Played lead in their first game, curled 85% in their win over Japan.
And they have been playing this way all season with this rotation, so they must be getting pretty well used to it by now.
Well, very nice, able to get to the nose. Didn't have to get shot stone, but really closes in that scoring zone early on. That's what Denmark's going to have to try and change. Move the stones around.
Mikael Poulsen, second for Denmark. Also a student.
While trying to make sure that they can get to the nose, and will sit frozen on that redstone. Just change up the order of those rocks. Well, they wanted to get rid of that yellow, roll over to the side. Now just that lonely stone. They still got to make a play if they want to get rid of that red shot stone. Trying to roll onto the corner, just glances up a hair. By rolling up just a bit, they're second and fourth instead of second and third.
Yeah. This is quite nice, Greg. Just kind of like it, draw away. In fact, I prefer that. Yeah. Just like this. Yep. So 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Dave Murdoch, a great student of the game. Teaches back home. And this is Greg Drummond. 2-time silver medalist with Tom Brewster at the Worlds.
I think a little more weight than what they wanted. They're trying to roll a little to the inside. Does give them an angle to remove that Yellowstone later. Well, Rasmus is looking at these angles. Just going to play something quiet. I like this. Try and just cross the face a little bit. Tap the red, get some separation of those stones, and try and roll the shooter in behind.
And it's Johnny Fredriksson, third, the oldest member of the team. He's got 5 Danish championships himself, now playing third for Rasmus.
His 9th trip to the World Championship together, so definitely the most experienced on this team. Trying to get to the inside, create separation. Pushes that yellow one back a little further than they had hoped to, because it's second and third shot stones on the right-hand side of your screen for Scotland.
I mean, that's there. Yeah. We can either play peel and go for the triple, or we can play Byron nose. Yeah. I think I like nose. Okay. Yep. Just barrier. Yeah, right in the beak. Who's hot lining?
Greg Drummond's second stone.
Wait, good. Form barrier. Oh. Form. Oh.
His brother Kerr won bronze at the 2012 World Juniors.
Well, they're hoping for nose. That's what they get, and they do clip that back one with quiet weight. I like that one as opposed to throwing big weight. Ends up sitting 1, 2, 3, and looks like even 4 in the back 12-foot.
So Scotland asking the questions here. Do Denmark have the answers? Johnny Fredriksson, a very good poker player as well, I hear. Long waiting hours at airports and things, you've got to do something.
Well, trying to make the roll underneath. Very nice, makes the roll. But because they're so high in the rings, it's second or third that's they're looking at right now.
Just looking at where everything's placed, and are they counting or not counting, and looking at angles.
worried we'll leave something here. Aye, I know what you mean. And just play this at like barrier or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Allison can go just a
to
little
there.
louder.
Okay.
But you
Just
can come
like
down a bit.
barrier up. Okay, nice, you think? Yeah. I don't mind this. Yeah.
So we're in the first end of this round-robin game between Scotland and Denmark, our featured game.
No, I don't mind this. No, yep. Didn't like barrier up, guys. Okay.
Playing quiet at this one, not wanting to throw big weight and have things roll out. They want to keep this right on the nose and keep the center line guard still in play.
So here is the skip, Dave Murdoch, 34 years old, hugely experienced.
Whoa. Good.
Knew they weren't going to count that yellow Danish stone on the side with that one, but they get rid of it.
Just, the weight came off it, actually.
Du skal være klar på de der to. Prøv at trække begge to ind i lyset, ikke? Eller ind i skyggen. Vil 10 rulle ind under med begge to? Ja. Kan man det? En 10'er.
It looks like here I think they are going to try and roll both the stone they're hitting and the one they're throwing. Try and roll them both in behind, get the shooter in behind cover, try and get shot stone, maybe even 1-2 out of this. That was what Scotland worried when they played that on the last rock. They'll try and get anything to kick in, and they'll spin off that stone, roll over to the side. And it'll go over. It'll be 1-2-3 for Scotland.
A little bit unlucky.
Yeah, it wasn't the spot that they were trying to hit it on, but knew that they'd kick one of them over. They didn't think they'd spin off that and get the extra spin, which allowed that to go that far across the house.
Maybe here, don't want to sweep for line. Just top four. Just top four, right? Like, kind of go too deep, because then we'll get...
After 03, I think go 5.
Yeah.
Go 5, even one, Dave, because they didn't really sweep mine. So. 3-1.
I think one, guys. This
Yeah.
this is quick.
So Scottish skips last stone.
We're okay for line right now.
Line on line, line on line.
Line's close. Scott only.
Line real good.
Top four.
Good.
Scott only, guys. Got room. Let's not leave a nose head goal. We're wide open. We're wide open. Yep.
Well, makes that late move. They're going to try and get the inside of it buried. They'll tuck just a piece of it. I thought they could have been, they'd be a little bit closer to being buried. They wanted to make sure they got in there to lie. Shot stone in a good steal position.
I thought, that snapped at the end. Just like I said to the guys, let's not leave it.
Wasn't far away, but you can see from that angle, not quite all the way around behind the other two. So last stone of this first end from Rasmus Schizernia.
Go! 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 Ordning. 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 Tæt retning. Tæt retning. Retning er god. Tidløg. Så langt skal den ramme den i bunden. Ja, så langt er den ikke.
Well, it needs to curl. It'll come past
It's
their
looking
own.
pretty speedy. It's fine.
Had practice in there during the time before the game where they were able to get a feel for the speed. He put it on the button there, and there gets his one.
Well played to Denmark, but they are limited to just the one. And after the first end, Scotland 0, Denmark 1.
Weight came off that,
Hey, good in, guys. Good force. Yeah.
Elsewhere in the arena, USA are taking on Japan, and it's the last stone of the first end.
Brady Clark, the U.S. skip, and he has the hammer here in this first end. Trying to draw in, facing those 3 yellow stones in there. Sweepers on this almost immediately as they try and get this one to the forefoot, but they'll give up. They won't have enough, and the triple in the first end for Japan, Yusuke Morozumi.
Great start for Japan.
Trying to come back after a loss against Scotland in their first game. They lost 7-5.
This is our featured game, though. We're in the second end. Scotland against Denmark. And Denmark with 1 in that first end.
Keep it moving, guys. 2. Wow. Okay, Mikey. Jeez. That is went bananas.
Okay.
It's gone bananas. That wasn't where they wanted it to finish.
No, they'd ideally like to have that one covering the 8-foot. That one, if you draw behind, you'll see is in the 12-foot. So really wide. It'll be tough for them to utilize in the end, especially with centerline guard going out.
Let's see what he does with his second.
I think just trying to roll a little bit to the outside. It's behind the tee line, so you don't want to leave it behind the center, allow for a freeze. Well, that one, I think inside might have got it going a little bit. And so, 4th stone of the end, wrecking on the guard, removing it. The guard will go back out in front, and the shooter will get pulled from play. 4 rock free guard zone rule in effect, as is all international competition.
So a disappointing couple of stones from the Scottish lead.
Well, had an opportunity to draw around, get a second one in a better position in the house to steal. That one well short for Poulsen.
I don't mind that. Half's okay, I think.
While they're trying to see if the double peel will get that one in the rings, they'll miss it a little bit wide.
Heard a dear there from Dave Murdoch.
Plads, kommer der. Spiller godt der. Ja, det er til 5-6. Fuld ring. Fuld ring. Hen ad to min pind, ned til pind.
An interesting call at that stage to try and draw in behind, choke off that corner guard. Thought they could have put another center line guard up, keep play to the center.
Weight's good. Solid. Whoa. Weight's up. Whoa.
Okay, bum hard.
Well, trying to get anything of this one, just trying to play the hit with quiet weight.
It's all about the yellows at the moment, though.
Ja.
Eller bare lige ned.
Ja, pop lige ned.
Ja, bare lige.
Og bare gå rundt. Det er nok nemmere bare gå rundt.
Bare for ikke at komme for dybt.
Ja. Jeg kan godt lige tage det, Johnny, lige ned.
Ellers køler vi over. 7.
6.
7.
I'm trying to figure out which way they want to tap it. Do you want to tap it on the nose, on a bit of an angle? Consensus, I think, from the indication, trying to tap it straight on the nose. Keep the stone they're pushing into the forefoot protected by a stone in front. Well, they'll tap it a little bit into the 8-foot roll away, high 4.
Det var for dybt til det andet, Johnny.
Okay. That gets a shot. Well, I don't mind that then. Okay.
There is Soren Grand, the Scotland coach, and Tom Brewster on his right. Just seeing themselves in the big screen.
Tom taking things really serious up there too, sort of joking around.
And Kerry Moore, who does the video analysis for the team,
Hey, by 12.
looking on the ball.
Right on with Dave. Right back to the bump pin.
Line's real good.
Bump pin, boss. You're bump pin.
And he was saying that Tom might find it quite hard to sit out, but he seemed quite relaxed. Certainly at that
Still
stage.
early in the game.
Yes.
Trying to freeze to the back one, play any sort of offensive shot, try and keep a stone in play.
Felt a little bit, but it felt like it was, the stone's really aggressive in your hand.
Yeah.
Stille og roligt. Meget harder.
Bit of chat about the ice at the moment. Most of the Scotland team.
Okay, det er rigeligt. Den skal rykke sådan et stykke, så sidder vi 3. Bare kan.
Well, for Scotland, both these teams, it is game 2.
And there is another Scot, but he is the coach of the Danish team, James Driver.
Go, go.
Running. Tak.
He's actually represented Sweden at a World Championship back in 2007. Played with Pia Lindholm. Well, come right down, tap that red one over the top. Fredriksson with the nice touch. Quiet weight, able to get through that port, play the tap.
I was worried it was going to catch his other yellow there, but it didn't.
Yeah, avoids the jam. Even if they would have rolled right out, it would have been okay.
It's nice. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Control. Close. Whoa. Yep. Whoa, whoa.
Same
Good boy.
being asked.
Well, jump over sheet D. It is Leo Ray and China taking on Sweden and Nicholas Edin. Edin at 2-0, but didn't play very well in either of their games. Got away with a couple of suspect play here. Though China in the second end after a blank first. Chance here. Get on the board. Open hit. Stick around. And the Chinese at 1-1. Have an early single point over Sweden. That's over on sheet D. Well, not much doing for Scotland with the hammer in this end. Haven't been able to mount any sort of offense.
It is the Danes that are calling the shots and Scotland reacting to it. Haven't really been able to get things set up the way they wanted after those, really the dodgy start, wasn't it? In this end.
Yeah, Scotland just trying to find a way. That guard went out to the wide side. The wreck on the guard had to be replaced. So you basically lose 8 rocks to 7 you're playing with. I think David will try and wrap one around that stone top 8 foot. Give himself a chance. Mistake out of their opponent.
Back in, good. Line's good. We're okay for line. Back 4. Line should be good. Room now. Room. Mikey only. He's across the line.
It's good, back 4.
Back 8's good. Gotta go, guys. Go, buddy. Hard. Hard, Mike. Hard. Hard.
Well, they took lots of ice to make sure they didn't touch that yellow. Got by with lots of room. It really moved hard once it reached the house.
Maya. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good there. I like that.
Jeg vil bare tage den. Men bare fordi lige snart forlader ringen.
Den er halvt åben, Johnny.
Du vil bare spille kant.
Kan det er ligesom din. Den kommer først, når den får fat i linjen her.
Her eller hvad?
Det er lidt mere. Kant. Kant.
Hvad synes du herfra?
Ja, jo, det er godt spillet, ikke? Jeg vil sige 95, dreng. Jeg vil ikke spille for hårdt, så den ikke kører. Jeg tror, det er lidt mindre nu, Johnny.
So here's Rasmus Sejerna, the Danish skip, trying to make it as tricky as possible for Scotland with their final stone.
Well, easily gets to it. Murdoch unable to bury with that. And play the draw, take a single point, but facing 4 counters.
Head off, eh? And that's...
Yep, got to make sure of the one
We can take a fair bit off.
and just park this end and move on to the next one.
Yeah. I think maybe a hair more. Give me a hair more, Greg. Yeah.
And they can afford to give themselves lots of room here. Get in a good path, similar to where he just threw.
So last stone of this second end to level things up against Denmark.
Back 4. It's clean. It's clean. Line's nice. Around the tee line, guys. Watch it, guys. Clean. It's Cullen. Cullen.
Good, Dave.
Got Dave.
And no problem with that. Dave Murdoch gets that one for Scotland. And we move on to N3. After 2, it's Scotland 1, Denmark 1. We'll bring you live coverage of Scotland against Denmark in the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. We're in the Save On Foods Memorial Centre in Victoria in Canada. This is day 2 of the round robin. Scots with 1 win under their belt.
Okay.
The Danes hoping to get their first win. But it's been pretty cagey so far. 1 or 2 mistakes with the ice.
With that one not in play, now allows a chance. Get the corner guard up with wide open rings. See if Denmark can try and generate something with the hammer. Neither side's been able to do so in the first 2 ends of play.
Meantime, over in Shite, it's Russia against the Czech Republic. They're into the second end. No score after the first. This is the Russian skip with the last stone. Andrei Drozdov.
Well, the big blast and leaves the 1 Russian stone there sitting top of the forefoot as the counter. So 1 point for the winless Russians.
Didn't look hugely happy about it, but they are ahead in that game. And Scotland Stone squeezing past guard.
Well, just when you have a chance, try and set something up. Leaves it just top 12 foot. Chance here for the hit for Scotland, and again to have control without the hammer in an end. That's been why most of this game has gone so far.
No, need to curl. Oh, maybe. Sit there's okay. Okay.
Oh, rolls over, lies 1-2, wide side of the ice. Well, trying to make the double and roll up, sit underneath that guard. Leaves shot stone Scotland, side of the button.
Did you throw this? No.
No, I threw it in practice. I've done a little bit. Nothing crazy though.
So the looks like the run back here. Scott Andrews. Well, try and run it back, pick the yellow out. Will clip their own.
Everything went.
Except leaves the 1 stone out in front as a corner. It can still be used by Denmark. And this nowhere close to getting around. It'll almost catch the nose of that guard.
1 or 2 of those in this game so far. Just misjudgments.
Well, you see Rasmus went out right away to talk, so either didn't give him nearly enough ice, or it was the delivery by Mikkel Poulsen. Well, trying the double peel, and that'll clear everything out. Now setting up for a, looks like a fairly open third end of play. Well, opportunity to a couple open draws, get a feel for the weight. One more time in this game. Johnny Fredrickson puts that one in. Here's a chance where you don't waste any time, and what we saw earlier today was Switzerland running low on time in their final end against Norway. Might have rushed his last delivery. Gave up 2 in the 10th end. These blank ends and quick ends will definitely allow you to save some time, bank it for later in the game.
Johnny Fredrickson's second stone after that. Tricky first one. Expect the red to disappear. And it sticks. As we move on to the skip stones.
Well, David Murdoch, no stranger to playing in this venue. It was held here in 2005. He made it to the final, but ended up losing that to Canada. And the world champion that year, Randy Ferbey, he ended up bouncing back and winning it the next year in Lowell, Massachusetts. Got some revenge against Canada, albeit a different Canadian team.
Murdoch has strong links with this area, not just playing here, but he met his future wife here. She's from a place called Duncan. So he will have quite a lot of support, I think, amongst the Canadian crowd, as well as the Scots amongst them.
I think the obviously the crowd favorite will be Team Canada, being in Canada here, but probably the second favorite will be the USA team. Just ahead of the Scots, because they're actually from just south in Seattle. In Scotland, you always hear the Scottish fans, whether there's 2 or 200 of them, you're always going to hear them in the crowd.
It's quite a nice hitting spot, that. Yeah, it's a nice 40.
And the guys just kind of going through the motions here.
And all that, it's going to get it right on the nose and take one.
Slightly irritated by that. That wasn't really the plan. But after 3 ends, they do take the lead. It's Scotland 1, Denmark 2. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. You're watching Scotland against Denmark, day 2 of the round robin with Alison Walker and Luke Coley. And it's been close stuff. Too much to get hugely excited about as yet. Look, this one's definitely got a long way to go in terms of building up.
Yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of from either side being able to set anything up, whether it being a steal or really putting the pressure on with the hammer. They've been going through it, and the team without has been putting a lot of pressure on their opponent, leaving us where we're at in a 2-1 game.
We're halfway. Line's real good, guys. Line's real good. Yeah, just faster, faster.
As Charles Harry's percentages, the Danish lead 93%. World Junior Champion in 2009. Charles. And doing his job pretty well this week so far.
Let's go here. This is draw at the bottom knife.
Michael Goodfellow for Scotland, trying to give his team something to build from.
They haven't been able to generate the offense with the front end for Scotland. They've been trying to get the stones in position, and this one's not going to do it either. It's going to come up well short, as it'll actually overlap that guard just a bit, and that could be a bit problematic because then that takes away some run back opportunities.
Yep, that wasn't the plan. Mikael Poulsen, he's 82%. I've seen a couple of his go a little bit awry. Hard, working hard to get that one as far as they possibly could. No wonder they need a drink. They say you can burn up to 1,000 calories in a game at this level with the sweeping. That's what I need.
A lot of the players actually throw the rocks for sweeping, not throwing them to get there on their own. So that's a big difference as well, that you're utilizing that sweeping because the strength and so much fitness involved with the front ends, and all the sweepers have so much more effect on the stone than a lot of people realize. Very nice, spills it off, and you saw David lining something up. He went out there, looked at the angles, and was able to spin it off that front one, roll it in behind cover, even though it is third shot.
And talking about the sweeping or brushing, as you call it, the Swedes are the ones that are masterful of that. It amazes me where they can get those stones to finish.
I thought they might take a run to try and get at that one top of the 12-foot, but going to try and hit and roll off that guard, try and roll the shooter in or at least to the center line. Try and get play to the center again without the hammer.
Seem to be distant to me.
Scott Andrews, second stone. Hoping for it to roll just a bit further than that. Let's check on sheet B. United States against Japan there into the third end.
Brady Clark in this U.S. team controlled play against Denmark in their matchup in their first round robin game. It's a chance trying to come down to that one. Need to touch that yellow one a little bit or get their one. Get one for sure. Took a look. And it is just a single for Brady Clark. So on the board, but 3-1 the score.
Back in our featured game, Scotland against Denmark. 2-1 to the Danes. We're in the fourth end.
This game continues to be a battle of the team. Or a strength for the team without last rock. On either side able to play any setup shots and have rocks in position to utilize to score a multiple point end. Well, there are doubles made. Greg Drummond able to make both of them go away. Greg played 94 in their first game yesterday at the second position, and a double. Look at the work by David Murdoch, and as always, the stereotype that skips can't sweep. Got to be able to do that in the house now. Make sure you get that one out of the rings.
Yep. Worked hard there, made a difference. Johnny Fredrickson, he's played some good stuff. 90%.
So nose hit now. There's an opportunity. There are a couple corner guards. They'll try and make a hit and roll off of that stone, top of the 12-foot. Play quiet, try and roll to the side.
And there we go, just what you were saying. Look, 94% for Greg. Hasn't done too much wrong.
I'll try and make the hit, make the roll over, have it spin, sit, top 12-foot, and there it goes. They have something behind cover.
So let's see what's happening on sheet 8. Russia against the Czech Republic. Remember, Russians got that first point in the second end, and it's the Czech skip. Junior's needle, third end, last stone.
They have 3 in there, so this has to get extra point. Got the force in the second. Here just drawn to the wide side. You see just those 3 stones in there. Kitzberger, Barish had to go hard on it early, but they'll get it into the side of the house. And that's a 4 for the Czech Republic.
Big score for them, 4-1 lead over Russia now, after 3. Nip and tuck in our game though, our featured matchup between Scotland and Denmark.
Well, able to pick that one out and roll the shooter off to the side a little bit, not really guarding any of the house, other maybe the edge, where of course Scotland will try and go.
Let's see, Russ.
Are you sure that you haven't lowered yourself in the mixer? Because I put very much lower than Anderson at the moment. Ja, met te spelen.
The house completely open and
Die 6 step in.
available at the moment. And this end following similar pattern to previous ones. Dave Murdoch, 88%. He could do with upping that slightly.
It's going to a very small part of the house, so with this line, needs to be perfect with the weight, right on the tee line, maybe just above it.
We've got loads of room.
1 step in now.
I have a feeling this is on the heavy side.
Well, and that's the problem. You're trying to go so precise that you overthrow it a little bit, doesn't curl, and it slides through.
I didn't think you were too bad. Good throw.
Quicker than that. Threw well.
Enten er det eller også
Det var det. Han var lidt. Nej, han kommer tæt på at komme. Det nytter heller ikke noget at gå tæt forbi den der, så rammer jeg ikke ringen.
eller ind og fløde.
Pas på med switch, jeg ser det lige til drengene, ikke? Han får meget sent om at komme, men kommer lige der, ikke? Spiller rundt om, så er det så fyrer han bare.
Well, that one's staying in play, but going, as I call it, the dead zone in behind the rings where you won't come back into the rings at all. You can freeze to it and try and get a force out of this end.
Yep, could still play a part. Rasmus, not good so far. And probably more because of the game yesterday. 71%.
Yeah, a lot of expectations on Rasmus after a solid run at the European Championship 2010, the silver medalist, 2011 the bronze medalist, this year the 4th place. Now at the Worlds, trying to bring that success to the world stage.
He did struggle at the Danish Championship, so sudden death playoff to get here.
They draw down not quite in front. I think there might be space in order to try and peel that one out in order to get the blank.
They look pretty happy. The blank would certainly suit Scotland. Keep the hammer. Move on to N5. Try and conjure something up. There's a little bit more than a 1. To start getting some multiple scores on that board. Both teams. So here he is, last stone of the 4th end.
Well, hit it, roll it right out.
And away it goes.
And
Yep.
the blank.
So as was, after the 3rd, it's now Scotland 1, Denmark 2 after 4. Let's get the latest on Sweden against China. Last stone of the fourth end from SCO-DEN.
Well, it hasn't played that well up to this point, but has got away with 2 wins. They're going to try and win their third, pick up their play. These shots will help when you have an open draw to get an extra point, and able to get the 2 and a 2-1 lead over China, who sits at 1-1 coming into their only game of the day for both of these two teams.
Yep, so Sweden going a little bit better. Back to the featured game between Scotland and Denmark. Second day of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. Long week of round robin games till Thursday.
Well, first stone into the rings. The hit by Michael Goodfellow. And not really the game he wanted entering the lineup. He's just at 56% in the rotation system. If he does want to come in after they reevaluate after their 8 games, we'll need to pick up his play.
There's no hiding place. Stats are all measured. Everything's looked at, evaluated, analysed.
Well, and there the nose hit. Now means it's out in front, can't be removed. And we'll have to draw around, but important here with the hammer. They sit in front of the tee line. Heard the comment that was tracking, just staying out there. Didn't curl for them. Passing on that it wasn't that poorly thrown. It was just that spot, that rock maybe didn't curl as much as you expect. Especially when a player's in his first game and struggling a little bit.
Go after the one in the rings. Just roll to the side of the 4. Yeah. Aye.
So playing the quiet weight, they can't see all of it, so they can't roll under. They're going to try and roll away a hair. I think just a bit more weight than what they were expecting. That caused it to run straighter. Very weight sensitive. You up your weight, it's not going to curl for them. And there, gets rid of it. But an open draw to place this one behind cover. Well, makes a great roll now, forces the run back. try and run this one. Get that yellow out, and there it goes, right out the side.
Good when it works.
Skal vi blive lige på, skal vi rulle af?
Ikke lige på, så kan du lige så godt gå rundt.
Well, centerline guard without the hammer, 2-1 game. Going to hit the guard as opposed to draw around because it's an opponent's stone. Well, that's their worry. Thought they might draw around, try and be a little bit more aggressive. This, a defensive call, deciding, worried about the run back ability and respecting that of the Scots. After just seeing the run back made, setting up for, could be another blank end in a 2-1 game.
Watch it, guy. That's quick. It's quick. Widen. Widen. Go on, guys. Go on, guys. Go on, lads. Go on, lads.
Well, that one, you heard them say it was sliding. Fast spot, goes through. As I was saying, it could be a blank. Now, draw down to it, could put it right on the face. Well, they want to freeze to it, no real bounce. But there is some room to get rid of that one. They'll try and blast everything, I bet.
Meantime, let's see what's happening on sheet B. It's the States against Japan, fourth end. Japan 3-1 up.
Well, the U.S. has 3 in there after a great last rock by Brady Clark, able to get in and make a little roll, sit 2 buried. So got to come off the side one, try and roll up. So come off the side, right in between them, push it back. And now confer, take a look, see what it is. And it is after a look there, it is a single point for Japan. So they go up 4-1.
Meantime, we've seen those 2 stones disappear on the outside edge.
Well, our game, it was the blast, cleared everything. Rasmus will try and put this one in the heart of the rings and force a hit and roll out to try and blank the end. So right down into the 8-foot. Murdoch already set to go to throw this one and look to blank the end.
Control. Yep. Hard. Right up, guys. Hard.
Well, trying to hit, roll out. There's the hit. Actually, pardon me, we're still a couple stones away. I was getting ahead of myself. And we'll stick around back of the 8-foot.
Yep, 1 more each for each skip.
And a couple hiding behind the bumper from our view. So hit and stick here for the Denmark skip. And that's what he gets there. Now Murdoch will look to roll out. Just haven't been able to set things up to get things going one way or the other in this game.
It's almost like they'll go into the break and it'll be like starting again with plan A. Milestone of this fifth end. Expect things to be cleared. And the red to be cleared too. And the end is blanked. And that means the teams go into the half-time break. The same as they were after 3 and 4, and now 5. Scotland 1, Denmark 2.
Good in, guys. Good. Good.
Well, look back the first half of this game in the first end, facing multiple counters. Rasmus Stern and his final stone trying to get in there, get a single point. Has to get to the forefoot. And able to come down right to the 4 side of the button. Get one, so an early 1-0 Denmark lead here in draw 4.
Give me a hair more, Greg. Yeah.
Controlling that second end, you see those 4 yellow stones belonging to Denmark. David Murdoch has a draw of his own for Scotland to get one and tie this game right back up. And Murdoch is good, able to go right into the forefoot, get one, and a 1-1 game. Third end, and a single stone in the house. Had the stuff set up, a couple big weight shots, cleared it around. Rasmus looking to blanket and right on the beak, and it is a single point instead of the blank. So 2-1 after 2 blank ends in 4 and 5. That's still where we stand at after 5 ends. 2-1 Denmark over Scotland. All the other games going on. 2-4-1 margins. Czech Republic with that big score of 4. They lead Russia, while Japan is up 4-1 over the U.S. And China has 2 back, so they lead Sweden 3-2 after 5 ends.
I don't know your weight is, Mike. I think it's just your release. You're throwing exactly the weight we need to throw to sweep. It's just a little bit soft out of the hand sometimes. You're not doing much wrong.
You threw your outside done that way, really. Just didn't do it.
Aye. That's cool. Frustrating. Just relax. Shoulders down, guys. Put them out instead. Be strong.
Aye, yeah, certainly mine. You definitely moved.
We know that. Nice bird.
Nice. Well, it worked. Like going up there in the first end, like was missing the guard by the front, the top 8 by this, and like.
Exactly. Put them in a pretty good position, that one. So you have to draw outside. So it's not.
Second end.
He's too good in the ring. He's just going to kill it.
He's going to kill it, yeah.
I think that's the reason why I play corners.
No, I think what he'll do is he'll throw the corner. You put it top the floor, he'll throw the corner out. You throw the centre guard on, he'll just come down and freeze you on that side of it. So I think it's either or. You're probably better throwing the one short. He throws the corner and you go around that side, but you don't want him to freeze on the open side, basically. We need to get you short if they're going to be short at the tee lines. Just bring them back a little bit and let the boys work them a little bit. Okay?
Just like both to
Just pick up the second line.
Huh? Let's like have both on it.
Well, after 5 ends, a 2-1 score. Lots of hits being played and good numbers there. 89, slight advantage to Denmark, while the draws advantage to Denmark as well. An overall percentage, 83-79. 2 blank ends, 3 singles. That leaves us a low-scoring first 5 ends of play. Here in draw 4, Denmark looking for their first win. Scotland trying to stay undefeated They will take on Canada tonight, while Denmark will come back this evening, and they will be taking on Finland here at the Save On Foods Memorial Center. Luke Coley with Alison Walker as the Scottish contingent waving the Scottish flag. They'll hopefully see their team get something going in this 6th end with the hammer after 2 consecutive blanks.
And I'm sure that will have been the theme of the team talk at halftime.
And like last, I don't know, I feel like I'm going too fast. That's kind of soft. Yeah. But now I'm going to get the speed. Yeah, it's quite fast surface, yeah. Yeah.
80% for the Danish lead in the tournament so far. Gone down slightly in this game.
Well, Denmark talked of what they want to play. If they want to try and go after, put one in. If they put up the corner, they decide with the center line guard, and that's what they'll do. They'll throw the corner out in front. Not a good first game for Michael Goodfellow at just 60%.
Still time to pick things up, though. And I'm sure that will have been mentioned. Really crucial at the front end. Play well and get things moving for the team.
So corner guard goes out, and now they'll come around to keep it on the side opposite the center line guard, or pardon me, the corner guard. So if it does stay open, there is a little bit of a hit to try and roll away from the corner guard play, trying to keep it to the center. Well, the talk was to try and get that one top part of that was in front of the tee. That one goes deep behind the tee line.
Yep.
T-line. Line's good. Top 4, T-line. T-line. Line's real good. Wide only, Dave. Touch big just now. Back button. Touch big. Back button to curl. Need to curl, guys. Need to curl. Got nothing. Getting better. We can leave it late. Needs to curl. Needs to curl. Needs to curl. How do you make it? Okay, Mike. Okay. Mike. Okay.
It doesn't curl. Will be a little bit straighter and faster coming out of the 5th end break because there's nothing going on the ice at that point. Have to be careful that they
were certainly thinking it was going to curl a bit more than that.
are hoping to try and get to the nose of it.
78% for Mikael Poulsen, known as Po, the Danish second. One of his hobbies is sleeping.
Sleeping.
Curling, movies, and sleeping.
Let's hopefully he's not sleeping while watching movies because he'll have to watch them numerous times. Should have lots of time to rest between games and play again tonight, and then we'll have 2 games each day all the way through Thursday.
It is, yep. People don't realise it is a very, very tough schedule, a tough week, long games, long days. And these guys have to make sure they do rest, joking apart. They do have to rest. Don't have to do much training because they're playing so much. But eating well, sleeping, very, very important. And any enjoyment is on hold until after the event is finished. Certainly in the modern day game. I think in years gone past that probably wasn't the case. A few more stones in play in this end so far.
Well, a couple stones behind the tee line, so important. Good rock positioning. Keep this in front of the tee line, something that can be promoted, something tapped up. Well, it's not shot stone, but it's in a position they can use. Jump over to sheet A, Russia, Czech Republic. Russia still looking for their first win, and that's a lot of yellow granite in the rings. As the Russian skip, Andrei Drozdov, has a hit to score a single point, make it 4-2. If he can make this hit stick around, and he will do just that, right on the nose. So 4-2. They're through 5 ends over on sheet A.
Back to our feature game. We're in the 6th end, a bit further ahead. 2-1 to Denmark over Scotland. Had a couple of blank ends leading up to this.
This one here, if we play the red,
Will be
I think we are going to get
The only thing is we're getting dragged into this middle. It's time for a splat. You know?
I know that in-turn freeze is tough.
so a bit of debate on what to do next. Let's listen out.
So it's either this or we try running this in. Horrible. I don't think we've got to play this just now. Okay. Do you think we should just play hack at it? Try and keep the shoot.
It's maybe not a bad call. I don't want it to over colourful and chip the back red though. I like that there.
Yeah, me too.
You can play firm hat. Firm hat? Yeah. Firm hat, yeah. We're hitting the... Well, we shot top of the 8 foot is the key one rather than the shooter. If we hold the shooter, great, but... So where am I catching this? It's like, it can't be too far away from a quarter to a third. Yeah. Third, Scott.
There is some concern there, look, about the back red. Soren doesn't appear too worried.
Yeah, they want to play quiet weight, trying to come down and play that red into the one that was just thrown. They'd like to just have it not roll off at all. But playing sort of plan B to chip off that guard, and we'll just open things up. Shooter goes away. Hasn't been a good one for this front end. Goodfellow and Andrews been fighting it a little bit. That one, in that same spot where the draw hung out there a little bit.
Jeg kan ikke lide, at de har kørt 2 gange lige derovre, altså.
Så vil jeg hellere spille den hårdt der. Det kan sagtens lade sig gøre, Johnny. Selvom du stemmer den der, eller der, så skal det være indfra hårdt. Spil efter den. Spille 8.
Johnny Fredrickson has been playing well though this game, 90%.
Playing the hit, they jam on that back one. They knew they were going to end up catching something back there because those stones were catchers. Spills it out and will leave their stones in a much better position to use later on in the end.
You can take out turn if you like. No, I don't mind. I prefer this. we just roll for the corner. Okay.
Greg Drummond, the Scottish third, 85% for Greg. Having a decent enough game.
Just gets the guard, will end up rolling off the top.
I'll hope for a lot more out of that.
Den der dobbelt er der, men... Jamen, lav den altså. Bare tag den, ikke? Jo. Jeg kan godt lide den. 10.
Normally don't see a team line up a double of their own stones to the extent that Erasmus just did, but he was trying to see if Scotland could make that double and stick around. Don't think it's a possibility. You'd have to play it real quiet. Nonetheless, still going to play the hit on that side stone in order to try and lie 3, play for a force now.
Let's go back to sheet B and check on USA against Japan. Japan 4-1 up. It's the 5th end. And it's the USA skip.
Well, playing the draw, got off to a rough start. That steal of 3 in the first, an uphill battle from there on out. Knew it was going to be facing 3 counters here. Needs a good 8-footer, a piece of the 4. Levice gives the hand in the air, good shot. Gets the 1, 4-2. Still an uphill battle for the U.S. to come back after 5. Oh, we just saw a great little hit and roll. Not a long run back, but gets it in behind, forces Denmark to play on their own yellow to the red. Denmark has done a good job in defending, making the hits when needed. And now is another occurrence. Rasmus will need to go straight back.
%, game accuracy for Rasmus. Danish skip.
Well, straight back. Another solid shot from the Denmark skip. He's definitely picked up his game from game 1 yesterday.
We don't want to play out turn and just do this. No. We're almost better throwing the eggs if we are high out. Yeah, okay. A couple options. Yep. I don't think it'll do much. No.
A lot of input from Greg Drummond. Did play second their first game, so he wasn't holding the broom in that one. It was Tom Brewster.
They seem to have adapted to their roles pretty well.
It does make things a little trickier for David Murdoch to have a different vice in this game as opposed to the same guy he had in the first game, especially early on in an event.
He's playing at 90%, Dave Murdoch.
Get 1, get 2, get them all. Jams it and sticks it on the side.
More power. He thought he had it. 1, 2, nearly 3.
Need to catch it a hair higher, a little bit, hold the line a little bit more in order to catch the second one thicker and roll off the other one.
And you just saw a replay of that on the screen.
We left the 6, eh?
When we say a hair, we really do mean a hair. It is that small, that tight, that close.
So line 1, Rasmus draw in, line 2 in this. He can be aggressive with to try and get in. Make sure he is in a position that makes this last rock for Murdoch as difficult as possible. Has shot stone on the side of the rings. Oh, we're trying to take it deep to get anything in behind cover.
This should be good. This is good ice.
Good line, I'll call you on if we need to. Just sweep them on.
Scottish support to enjoy this final stone. I think they might be related to Scott Andrews somehow.
They got the Scott Andrews mask out there.
So last stone of the 6th end. What can Scotland get out of this?
Well, needs the 4-foot. Had to wait for it to take its move, and well judged, well thrown right down to it.
Perfectly thrown from the Scottish skip Dave Murdoch, making sure of the one shot, and that levels things up after 6. Scotland 2, Denmark 2. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013 here at the Save On Foods Memorial Centre. Plenty of support for all teams here. Saw some Japanese fans there. In the featured game, Scotland against Denmark. And it's been very, very cagey all the way through. Neither team giving the other much chance to build and put an end together to get some multiple scores. It's been ones all the way. And we're into the 7th end now. And at some point, something's got to give. You're listening to Alison Walker and Luke Coley. enjoying this game with you. Wherever you're watching from around the world, a very, very warm welcome to you. Good to have you with us.
Just haven't been able to get that first come around into a good spot. That one goes well deep. It goes back 8 foot. Now an opportunity for Scotland to get in. Put this in a good steal position early for Michael Goodfellow.
Top 8, top 4. Line's good. Top 8. Top 4. Line's good, guys. Hard. Real hard. Go, guys.
Good, Mikey.
That one a pretty good position, able to come around, get in top of the 4 foot, utilize that center line guard because of that one going deep. Seems as though in this game, the first team to score 2 will be the one that will win.
It's looking the way of it. Whoever sets things up first. And then maybe a mistake.
Well, that's not going to help the situation either for Denmark. Another stone back behind the T line. You see a little
Bit of frustration there, yep.
Will not be happy with himself because now another stone going right down to it. Maybe in there for a shot. Scott Andrews, opportunity to put one right on top.
Could this be the opening that Scotland have been waiting for?
Top 4. Oh, needs a curl. Never.
It might happen without the hammer. They haven't been able to generate offense. And when you look at this matchup coming in, you thought advantage to this Scotland team. They have, of course, David Murdoch, 2-time world champion, throwing the last 2 stones. But they haven't been as efficient and effective as we've seen them before.
Bare helt stand nu. Går vi herved og går hen ovenpå, så er vi lidt på den. Hånden foran. 5. God retning. Kort fart. Pas. 6. Kort fart. 6. Pas. God retning. 1 håndning. 5. Wow. Kommer nu. Wow. Rundt her, Johnny. Wow. Tæt. Wow.
Well, it gets a fortunate little kiss off that top one. Shot stone.
It's getting a very busy area in there, little nest. Reds and yellows.
That scoring zone is, or the area that they have to get that second point for Denmark, is closing in a hurry.
Getting better. Greg, only, guys.
Greg, only.
Gonna switch. Got no light. Gonna be by the top. Yep.
So sits on the corner of it, closes it up.
Elsewhere, 7th end, it's Russia 2, Czech Republic 4. 6th end, United States 2, Japan 4. And in the 7th end, it's Sweden 3, China 3.
Looks as though asked Poulsen to just get to the inside of that red one just thrown by Scotland. Get to the inside, you can give yourself an angle, take away part of the angle that Scotland has on your stone.
Protect what you have.
Here they're going to move a little bit around, tick, tick. Keeps a great angle with their shooter. So, again, the beneficiary of a little tick off that top one.
He wanted to look too. We're going to get a nice replay.
So, goes tick, tick off the top. Keeps the angle. That's a look there where that yellow one is. There's pocket with the out turn.
So Dave Murdoch looking at the angles.
I'll tell you what it is though, it's nice for Stephen sitting out in front of it. What's he playing with his next one, you know? He's going to bump, he's bringing these, he's getting rid of these, right? To be honest, you could throw that in Inter. Probably better, sure. Yeah, because you flick here, that's okay.
So that's on the end turn. Yeah, please. Yep. If we ever flick for yellow, it's okay. Right, so let's beat then, eh? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Top four! D-line! Line on, back four! No. Big just now.
Oh, I got no line.
Back four. Back bud. Back four.
Oh. Go on inch at least.
Okay.
Okay, don't mind that. Okay.
Well, they wanted to try and get to the inside of that. Just a little bit too much weight. Looks as though 1-2 right now for Denmark.
Vi ser godt, han 1-2. Kom ned.
Skal han ikke få lige? Så prøver jeg vores bare udenom der. Ellers så holder vi ikke 20.
Så lægger en mere her, ikke?
Ellers så kan vi komme på indersiden af den her over. Derovre bare. Ja. Det er ikke ret, altså ikke et rulle. Det skal bare på sådan
Jo, det er derovre fra, jo.
Det skulle næsten godt med en kant. Ja. Hvis man går tæt forbi garden.
Jeg er meget fristet til at tyre den her.
Ja. Bare holde shooteren her, ikke? Ja, bare godt. Jo. Eller her.
Jeg er bare bange for, at hele vores bare forsvinder med et 4-fod. Han tænkte, at vi skulle ud.
Getting very busy in there indeed.
Den der dør aldrig. Hvis han skyder på den, så rykker den sig, og den sig.
Jeg kan godt lide det der tab. Så sidder
Vil det tage tid?
Hvad? Det er bare
Hvad kan I herinde?
bare kigge på, om du kan komme på indersiden.
Well, and going to use their timeout at this junction.
Jeg ved ikke, om det giver meget mere.
Men lige så snart du flytter den der, Johnny, så er den der til at fjerne. Men lige så snart igen tager, lige så snart du fjerner den der,
Here
så
comes
den
James
der til at
Drybrook.
Når den er til at fjerne, så dør den også. Fordi så tyrer han bare.
A long walk down to the sheet.
Lige kommer på indersiden. Så rører den der hernede. Så rører den der heller ikke ud.
Det kan jeg meget godt lide. Herovre kan jeg ikke rigtig se. Hvis jeg jo på en...
Man kan lige nok se det hele. Den der springer op og skubbe den der ud. Den her nede.
So will he speak English or will he speak Danish?
Det er det, vi snakker om.
In their fifth end break, they were speaking English with James. So, assuming they're going to go with that again.
Jeg tror, den der bliver liggende, og jeg ved ikke, om den bliver skottet.
Hopefully we can listen in. Quick smile for the Scots boys that he knows well too.
Det der hjørne der og skubbe den der lidt.
Altså man kan sige, hvis du lige snart du dræber 7'eren, er det meget sjovt, ikke? Altså hvis du får lov at rykke den bare en halv stil. We're with 1-2 right now, so.
I was thinking this one here, then this, you don't go. This one. Here? Yeah. Back line. Just the tap one, that's it? The tap one there.
This one go and this one go if you just roll it.
And then my shot is like there.
Yeah.
Because if you put it right there, you give him the blast for a 5. And then he's on it. I just don't want to move this too far.
Okay.
Okay, put it there. Option is there. Put it there. Because then I get the blast in. I like it.
What happens if you bury it all the way?
Yeah, corner freezes, because then I get the blast for that to get a big score. He's coming on this next time though.
Så sjovt, vi kan se, hvor langt du er tilbage af timeout.
Dave's next shot is this though.
Tænk bare, at du stoppede før.
Yeah, then I can fire that in there.
Well, for a 24-year-old at a world championship, he had a good thought process there, thinking of what he's got left. What is he trying to set something up? Trying to corner freeze that redstone, get to the inside so that he has a blast later. He doesn't want David Murdoch, you see sitting in behind, to be able to play the blast first.
Nicely played. Meantime, let's see what's happening on sheet B. The States against Japan, 6 end, 4-2 to Japan.
And again, the U.S. has got a couple of rocks in there that are counting before the last rock for Yusuke Morizumi. They are behind the T line, so they draw down to it. No chance to get multiple points, but still with that cushion from the three-point steal in the first. Scoring is important. All right, and comes down. Does it curl up enough to get the one? It will, after a look, it is good for a single point, so 5-2 Japan leading USA.
This goes up here, touches that, sits
How many
there.
more stones can we get in here?
Not looking that pretty after it's been played.
I think there's going to be a few less after this one.
Yeah, this is the one. Expect things to get moved about a bit.
See if he's got any great ideas.
What happens when we play the run back?
No, but if we play that there,
I'm thinking it's maybe one early for that.
That's when I think. The thing is, he's going to be live one there. And we'll be live one
So
there.
the Scots have also asked for a timeout. Crucial point in the game.
Remember, if we make this might go. It'll score the game. Yeah, true.
And Soren Grant will head down.
Half the door and try and stick this here.
The clock continues to run, remember.
Well, bang in the nose there. This, I mean, we lose these two for fun.
Yeah. This probably moves here. This probably moves out here and then we
goes
lose
out.
the double.
This definitely goes out and that brings this in.
No, I don't know. If you
Oh,
catch
definitely.
that.
Look at that. That's
Look at that's going to hit the 8
Oh,
first. Yeah, this is coming up.
It's either that, we try the same shot again and we go there. Then we can do whatever we like after that.
If we play that, if we wick off here.
Oh, the high five, the tag, you're it. Scottish coach coming down.
What if you play that and then he takes... Tell you, the other shot we could play is try and skinny the guard, PO8, boom, boom, sit there. This horseshoe's right up.
Sorry, skinny what?
Like, skinny this guard, PO8, boom, boom, sit there.
Hit this one first.
This all goes, this sits here.
think-
These all go.
Yeah, like that.
I think Dave Murdoch has a pretty
'Cause this will
sure
go,
idea
this will
about what he
go.
wants to do, but let's see what the coach has to say.
So we either, a few options, we either commence it here, run this black, or a couple on this side we have is just like nose here, get these two away, but this goes here. Or we try and throw PO8, clink, clink, sit there and get all these going.
If we're tight to the guard on this, we might run through slightly.
Because you're going to get a piece of this. In fact,
You
you
might
might,
get rid of these two ones at the back. Or?
like with this.
Like here,
This
yeah.
one. See, I'm worried that. See, this definitely moves this. This is moving. This number 2. Yeah, but we know we're
Well,
soft.
just
to the
like
foot.
if you hit that nose,
Or you want to hit
you're
an
never
angle.
going to hit it.
I think you need to stick this here.
I know that's
if
what we're
you're
thinking,
hitting
but
it.
we're lying through against.
I mean, I like keeping the shooter here. This is real nice.
So but you're going to be losing this one, aren't you?
This goes.
So are we playing this for the nose or high?
I think nose.
Nose. Keep the shooter.
Keep your shooter right there.
Yeah. If you see if you hit it at the angle though, that one's not going as far, is it?
Not really. We don't need to be stupid with it, right?
No, just like
Because these go easy.
control.
Control nose? Yeah.
Well, that's a different weight term.
What do I do,
You don't have to be stupid
I think
weight.
so.
Meaning you don't have to overthrow it to get them all going. They're going to go.
Better this than that.
Okay.
The worry was that losing that redstone on the left side of the forefoot in that overhead shot. See there, they want to keep the shooter.
That seemed to
on
be
the
the main.
nose.
Yep, that seemed to be the main thrust of the decision. Keep the shooter.
Control!
Wanted a hair inside, I think. Keep the shooter there. We'll lose that one. Definitely changes the look in the house, and
It was
Good use of
yellows
the
that
timeout.
moved, yep.
good use of the timeout to talk about the angles and what shot to play. The other one they were looking would have lost that one on the side. That one kept the shooter. As they'll catch this one, maybe a hair inside. Lose 2 yellows.
Yep, pretty good result for Scotland. It's still yellow counting.
But that red stone, top of the 8 foot, is the danger stone for Denmark at this stage.
Certainly a bit more meat to talk about in this end than previous ends. Building up nicely.
3 hen til 4 fod nu. Godt lige den her. Ja. Så skal han på ydersiden af den.
Han så ikke den samme. Den der igen, ikke?
Jo, så har han den ind, men så åbner han den.
Gengæld så er han inde bagved.
Problem is to get rid of that redstone, you have to hair the guard. That becomes a problem. You could try and come with the out, turn around, get to your yellow that way.
Og spil her, kan. Og ryk den hertil. Så har vi en kasse på den. Kan.
So it is the out turn they're trying to play. Got to get to the inside, trying to get a little movement in with the shooter. Well, we'll kick that one in. It'll be third shot. Now they have an angle on those yellows to the red.
Yeah? You can click any of these yellows if it wants, because they're not played.
I mean, even if it doesn't, I mean, we might get skinning through here. Not bad. Are we?
We're like,
We want to plummet. If we can plumb this top one.
stick that.
Oh,
centre line.
that's what we want, Greg.
So we're popping in half, eh?
Oh, third quarter.
Quarter to a
It's a
third.
quarter to plummet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get away, peel.
Heel, eh?
Shouldn't do too much.
Try and stick the top one, like, you know?
Yeah.
Half stone, is it?
So trying to slash that red one in, utilize this position of that one right into the top one. Well, right onto it. Doesn't stick it as they roll away. hit more than what they needed. They had to catch less of it to keep that stone right where it made contact with the yellow.
Okay, take a quick look at Sheet A while they're chatting. Russia against the Czech Republic, 7th end, 4-2.
Russia lying 2. So Yuji's needs to get into the forefoot with this draw, maintain the lead. Important with a lead like this, you want to make sure you score with the hammer. Obviously 2s are nice, but facing a couple, needs to get the side of the button. And it'll come down, despite the efforts, Russia to sweep it away. It's a single point and 1 for the Czech Republic. And that makes it a 5-2 game after 7 ends over on Sheet A.
And our game, it couldn't be closer. It's 2-2. And every shot at the moment requires some thought and decision.
Lidt mere is det.
Hvor vil du gerne hen? Den her skal herover.
Der, ja, præcis der, hvor det er nu.
Well, considering the first 6 ends we had, this one taking about the length of a couple ends, probably the combined time of the 4th and 5th ends. Lots of rocks in play, trying to set up angles. Saw the broom go down to play a freeze on the red, get to the inside of it. I'll try and get to the inside. They'll tap it a hair. Be 3rd shot, it looks like. Get to the inside there, try and freeze to it.
Like this goes here.
Big scrub by the sweepers to trying to get it straight to the red, but they touch the top one.
Oh, this can come in and hit it. No, never impatient. No, that's always there. But this goes. Oh man, where are we going to end up here? I still think we're pretty nice. No, because this comes
Right,
in
we're
here.
lighting second shot. If we freeze the pocket, do we have anything to it?
No. So what are we throwing? Peel to catch an inch of this? We almost got to hit this first.
Lots of them, yeah, always do.
But that's like shaving. That appeal?
On the inside.
Yeah.
Going after the P-Wade obviously has a good feel for it, because it looks to me that this is a very difficult shot as opposed to trying to just freeze on top of it. The second shot being Scotland at the moment. I thought they'd try and freeze the pocket. They talked about it. Well, P-Wade, skinny the guard. Well, they end up freezing to it a different way. Caught it more than they wanted, I think, is a little bit wide with the throw.
It was a tricky shot, very tricky shot, and difficult to work out what the outcome would be.
With that weight, you're anywhere outside of the broom, there's no chance of coming back to where you want it. And it just gets fortunate.
It's negative ice.
De ligger helt op ad hinanden, den skade. Så skal den lige nok blive i ringen bedre end den derovre. Får du på 3. Hvis den her ligger bedre end den derovre, så synes jeg, du skal spille på 3 eller 4. Men altså...
No. To me, one option is draw the side of the Ford logo. The other question is if they're trying to play off of that side yellow, maybe as an option. They're trying to line up some angle.
Den kan bare ikke koste noget, den her. Du spiller en hård nok. Får du garden, så får du din ene. Får du den forbi, så får du i hvert fald 2.
Også meget om den der springer over den. Kunne den altså godt rest.
Spring over den.
Kan den måske ikke. Nej, det gør den ikke. Det kan den nok ikke.
Hvad? Den springer ikke over den. Er du meget uheldig, så får du kun på den her over. Hvad siger I, dreng? Hvad har du lyst til? Jeg har lyst til at tyre. Så spil tyre, Ras. Hvad giver den?
Well, he's going to go down and take a look, because what they're looking at is see how much they can skinny the guard, try and catch the shooter on the side yellow, have that yellow go back and get both the reds, and shot for if he gets by. Looking at, could be 3.
And how significant would that be in this end?
We're right behind the sheet, and you can see just a sliver of that stone. There's not a lot available.
There isn't. This is a tiny, tiny margin.
Well, by the guard, sliver it, catch it on the side, and all that. And I think it's just one. I think he caught it too thin. He needed to catch more of it.
It was a difficult, difficult shot, but worth a try. Worth a try for the Danish skip. The edge ahead, but only by 1. And after 7 ends, Scotland 2, Denmark 3. And let's get the latest on the USA against Japan. 5-2 at the moment. And again, last stone from the USA skip, 7th end.
Well, lying 1-2 right now. This a chance to get a 3rd point, make up for that 3-point steal early, and all knot things up at 5. We hear the U.S. fans in the background. They're cheering on their U.S. squad out of Seattle, Washington. They tie things up.
It's quite a game, that one. Very even. And there's the Japanese support here too. Enjoying what's going on so far.
They were a lot more excited until that end when they gave up 3.
This is the Save-On Memorial Centre, and it's the Ford World Men's Curling Championship 2013. Second day of the round robin, and our feature game, Scotland against Denmark. And Denmark have edged ahead in this game. After, I wonder how significant that last end might be in the context of the game.
I think the thing that might be the difference is how much time was spent in there. How long did they analyze shots?
Both teams. Check on comparisons of players. Goodfellow against Harry, the leads. That really is poor from Goodfellow in terms of the hits, isn't it, Luke?
He started really rough in the first early going of the game. He has worked hard to get those numbers back up. What we'll need, good rock placement. They want to try and come back in this game. Just making 50% of your hits. And you won't throw many, hasn't thrown many as the lead. But that one is a solid curling shot right behind the guard.
Yep, that's more like it.
Forces an early run back. You get one miss, and then all of a sudden you can throw a few guards. You can come around the center, try and lie two. Lots of options after making that run back. And that one will go awry as it rolls just over the top. Shooter rolls over to the side. We're going to try and roll off that center line guard over as a corner. Benefit they have is they shooter on that run back. Michael Poulsen is still in play and will heavily protected if this rolls over beside it.
Control. One body. Yep. Hard. Hard, guys. Real hard. Hard, lady.
While trying to roll over, they end up jamming on the one in the rings, roll it over to the side. Are now lying shot stone.
Comparison of the seconds, Andrews and Poulsen. Andrews slightly down on Poulsen in just about every department apart from draws. 79%, 71 overall. No setting sticks. And 2 yellows on the 2 far sides.
Body up. Yep. Here, board. Control. Yep. Hard. Hard, guys.
Well, they get by, they make the hit, trying to get in behind cover. And Denmark, even if you just continue to trade hits, lie two, position to get a force in this 8th end. Well, trying to roll themselves, they'll roll just a hair, actually spins back to their benefit. Sits in the top of the 4. It's that extra little spin.
Percentages of the thirds, Drummond and Fredrickson, 100% with their hits. 82% and 86 overall. So not too much to choose between them.
can't make the run back, ends up peeling that one off. Drummond expecting to make those. One rolls it off, opens up those two Denmark stones. And this is more of the type of game we've seen for the majority. That one gets to the center line. Another run back called to try and open things up. Keep play away from the center and that stone that's protected. Well, continuing to put that guard back out in front. Still in enough position to protect that one.
Meantime, let's head to sheet 8. That Russia-Czech Republic game's developing into quite a tussle between the two. The Russian skip in the 8th end. Czechs 5-4 up.
Well, this Russian side building, try and get to build on their game, heading to the Olympics, able to make the nose hit lie too. Of course, Russia will have a team no matter what as the host country of the 2014 Olympic Winter Games.
Closing the gap there, they were 5-2, now 5-4. They want to put in some good performances though and get some good results ahead of Sochi.
Well, and there's the run back. Leave the shooter, gets rid of the one. The danger stone in the forefoot, although guard's still in play. Well, sweepers didn't have to do much on that as they peel that one right out. Rasmus able to play the outturn draw. Try and sink this one top forefoot, top button as we look at the numbers of skips. Slight advantage to Murdoch. Big difference in the hits, 20%, 9% overall.
Trying to get this to curl round.
It's there, but still exposed. As the fans starting to get into it. Is that Rasmus's father? Tommy?
Very passionate about his curling, very passionate about his country, as you would expect.
Tommy won the bronze at the Worlds in 1990. It was Rasmus that coached his dad in 2012 in Regina, when his dad was the skip. So last stone of this 8th end from David Murdoch.
Easy, white should be close. line. Right to the bend. Right to the bend.
Nicely making sure of it, right to the button. That's the one for the Scots. And we're all square again after 8. Scotland 3, Denmark 3. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Forward World Men's Curling Championship 2013. Second day of the round robin, and it's Scotland against Denmark that we're focusing on here. And it couldn't be closer. It's been nip and tuck all the way through. 3-3. We're into this 9th end now. Who's your money on? Look.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to. I'll tell you in a few stones. That's the easier way.
No,
see how the start.
no, now. You can change your mind. I'll let you.
Denmark looking to draw to the wing to try and set up for a blank. Scotland's going to go hard. We'll see where it'll all depend where these first couple stones for Scotland. If they get something set up, I'll go Scotland.
This one is going a bit further than they wanted.
I didn't even tell him. See that, another guard.
Well, with that one back 12 foot, I don't mind playing the come around. I don't mind seeing this. Thought they'd come right around and go top 4 foot as opposed to a second center line guard, but they don't really want to allow a blank here in this 9th end. That being said, they also don't want to give up a multiple point end to Denmark.
So it's another guard, but we don't want it to be too close if you're Scotland.
So draw to the wing is the call. They want to be in the top part of the house. The one from Harry ended up going back 12 foot. Now facing 2, we'll see Scotland does if they want to go behind or play the hit. Have to play the draw facing a couple stones. But important here to try and get a little bit of roll towards the center line.
Control.
Well, just in between, we're going for the roll, and at the end, tried to get on to stay and get the double.
Good Scott.
They don't want to jam on that back one of theirs. And they'll clip it. Will they stay in play, and it gets away with it? Well, there they'll make the double. Not what they're calling for. They're trying to get to the inside and make the roll. Well, they'll clip the back one, get rid of it. The shooter not staying around, though, allows. Go out and try and play the peel.
That's a plan for Mikael Poulsen.
Well, look at them go. Gets the double, rolls them off to the side. Brings a definite blank into play. The second guard out to try and force. Didn't play around them. Double may have looked good, but the roll inside would have been much better for Scotland.
Easy, guys. That's there. Easy, guys. Easy.
Center line.
Good, Greg.
Not here.
Good.
So center line guard, see if they maybe get a nose from Fredrickson as we jump over U.S. Japan.
Yep, 8th end on sheet B. 5-all. And again, the Japanese skip with the last stone, looking to increase Japan's lead, or to put them into the lead.
Important end to score in the 8th, and multiple stones in the 8-foot. As this one trying to come through, make the hit on the one in the 4-foot, and stick. If you can hit and stick around, chance at 2, but it'll roll too far, and it's a single point only for Japan. They're up 6-5 after 8.
So another very close game, as is this one between Scotland and Denmark, our featured game.
No, never, guys, never.
So the Scots putting up another guard in an attempt to try and make something happen in this end. You can expect that to disappear very shortly.
But they tick that one in. That's a big little chip. Pushing that one in, because now Scotland splits the rings, and they're in a chance to get a force.
Can you have a big little chip?
the little chip of distance is a big difference in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Get what you mean. Significant.
Not the potato chip variety, but
You mean crisps? The crisp chip.
David Murdoch has been good in the game, needs to put this one in the rings, and has all the house to work with. Going to the other side, getting the benefit of that one. Really an unfortunate break for Denmark, but had to be thinking of where that one was if they did catch it thin like they did on the peel.
Just to make sure this counts here.
Settles down back 12 foot.
So the Scots line 2, and it'll be Rasmus as the journey with the last stone. Can't get rid of both of them. So being forced to take one. If he gets it in the right place. And heading up the last end, it'll be Scotland with the hammer. And the advantage.
Looking to freeze down on it, maybe get Murdoch to blast and then have a chance to blank the end. Got to get this one to the face, can't have it over curl. I think with the little tap, they might have gotten far enough. They do sit in time to be shot stone. So, need to hit, get rid of that stone. Well, get the yellow to go away, and there it goes. So, not what they wanted. It was looking like a blank was definitely in order. And the peel touching that one up, pushing it into the house.
Changed everything.
Well, I wonder if the decision is now peel it out, give up the steal, go one down into the 10th end, try and score two then. Haven't seen one yet in this game, though. We'll find out momentarily. Might just be the peel here. Roll out, give them one.
So last stone of this 9th end from the Danish skip.
Well, make the hit, roll away. That is the
And
shot they were looking for. Will hit, roll out, give up the steal. So they retain hammer, down one. Try their chances at scoring two to win the game in 10.
After 9 ends, Scotland 4, Denmark 3. Just going to check on Russia against the Czech Republic while we wait for the other one to get going again. There we are, 5-4, Yuri Schnittl, last stone of the ninth end. Quite a tussle between these two.
You can see a good chunk of that stone. See the indication from Martin Schnittl in the house. Good shot, brother. Thanks for giving us a single point. A 1 point or a 2 point lead, pardon me, after 9 ends.
This is our featured game. Scotland against Denmark. And quite a battle between these two. 4-3 at the moment after 9. Scotland getting that steal in the 9th. But suiting Denmark to do that.
Let's see if that strategy pays off. It's taking a chance. You may think, why are they hitting rolling out to give up? But try and figure they have a better chance.
And that's the way the game's been going. That's the strategy that's been played out and has worked for actually for both teams.
So first stone, top 8 foot. Corner guard goes out. Center line side. See, playing with in-turn. They're going to leave part of that stone open. They'd rather leave the out-turn side available so they can't play a little chap and roll behind the corner guard.
Line's good. No, it needs to stop. Needs to stop, guys. Needs to stop. Line's good. 2.5 maybe. Center line. Might need to go.
So if you're Scotland, what's your strategy here?
Well, ideally you'd like to steal in this end and avoid giving up one and not have to play the extra, but realize that that is a possibility to try and play for the force. You'd have the hammer playing the extra end. Right now in a position they could play for the steal. They have that one top 8 foot. Denmark has to get something set up. They're going to try and freeze to the top one. Well, in between of either go around or freeze to the top one. Chips off it.
Bit of frustration again. Trolls.
Well, pretty good mindset. Just get rid of that stone as it's open. Scott Andrews able to make that roll away.
Family enjoyed that.
So trying to hit, roll over, give himself 2 corner guards. Does guard up that stone side of the 12 foot. Scotland lying 2. Trying to get play away from the center right now, if they can, to try and set up what would be a game-winning 2 points. 1 point to tie. Got to remember that. They can't go all out.
I think they would quite like to get this game done and dusted and get themselves prepared for Canada this evening.
Well, real tight guard. Does leave the run back, but possibility they had to go on it to try and make sure they guarded up that stone in the 8-foot. Well, run it back and we'll go right in between, splits the uprights of those two red stones.
Scott, I need to counter, guys. Late. It's not it. Moving up. I need to go late. Get to the line. Park. Park. Go. Keep out if you can. Yep.
So back in more or less the same place as it was before.
Similar position, similar shot. Johnny Fredrickson.
Can we get it this time?
Well, going to be close. Get one, and we'll jam it on the side. Still leaves Scotland lying one, but now no center line stone to guard up. And leaves the 4-foot open if they need to draw.
Quite a battle out on sheet D. Sweden against China. 4-all in the 10th end.
Wide open, no guards here. It's a open shot. Leo Ray to move to 2-1, knock off Sweden, who got 2 wins yesterday. Their only game, both these teams, this will be their only game today. As the hit and stick. A couple of stones in the 12-foot.
That's all he needs to do.
Well, just guiding this one in. Little hit in, and there it is. Sweden will go down their first defeat at the hands of the Chinese, who after a first game loss to Canada, now are 2-1. 2 straight wins with a 5-4 win over Sweden.
Smells all round for China. Not a lot of smiling going on in our game yet. Very tense.
Come around went to a nice spot. It's in front of the tee line, so a freeze has to be on an angle. It makes it tough to really use those corner guards to any advantage and try and score some points. I'll try and sneak it around. And again, in between. Slide back 8-foot. Seen a few of those where you're trying to go around, just rubs, or they decide to let it come up short and freeze to it, just bounces off.
It is shot stone, but not for long.
Centre it.
And that's an impressive start, 93% on the Scottish skip.
Scotland's been known for hit ability, got to get past their own. And a little roll. They didn't want to necessarily sit there. Now there's a freeze possibility
And that's what he's thinking.
Go like that. Shoot.
Lidt mindre, Johnny. Mindre endnu.
Well, 88% on draws for Rasmus. Needs one now, trying to freeze to that back stone. Well, and they can't get past that top red one. And
I think he kind of knew, and as much as he was shouting and encouraging, Dad kind of knew too.
Can we go through here or not? Like, I'd really love to, like,
Well, first thing, let's move
see some into it, innit? Kind of play it out.
We're in this last end,
Peel to hold it first.
Throw Peel if you want.
I think normal's good.
or maybe not.
Like, heavier than that, like,
Sorry?
heavier than
Heavier than
that.
this one. Okay.
Yeah.
well, it's a good point by Greg saying, let's make sure we lose the yellow one first off, rather than try and think about chipping off this where you want to be. First objective is get rid of it,
Get rid of it.
and then you force Rasmus into drawing for one to tie the game up. If that yellow stays around, possibility of two will be out there. Well, we'll end up bumping that off their other one. We'll lie 4.
Yellow's gone. That was the important thing.
I was going to say we were rushing tighter actually. When I was just thinking, well, remember what he's in turn, kind of hit done going that way.
Yeah.
So the out-turn draw. Saw the numbers on the last one, 88%. We'll need to make this one, last one, rub the front. Here, we'll need 4 foot.
It's master of the 10th end. This to level things up.
This will be to force an extra end. And just a light clean down to make sure they get it into the 4 foot, right to the button. No doubt for the young Danish skip.
So Denmark still well in this as we head into an extra end. After 10, it's Scotland 4, Denmark 4. So we're into this extra end between Scotland and Denmark. In draw 2 of the round robin, or 4 of the round robin. And the advantage with Scotland.
Here come the tick shots. Try to push this one to the boards and have your shooter roll out of play. Get them off the center line. Michael Goodfellow got off to a rough start, but has picked up his play considerably in the last half of this game.
Yep, just got a feel of it.
And it just jumped on him at the end. Looked like they had it most of the way down.
The line looked right. Frustration.
So they'll try and set up another centerline guard, this one tighter. Obviously with the first one off the center, you're going to have a bit of stagger.
Needs it on the line.
See which one they go after, because that tight one is their dangerous stone.
It was actually okay in the end. We were okay in the end, I'd say.
So we're determined to get this one right this time. Just a fraction off in his last stone.
Well, that one they catch a lot thicker and will go to play, so the shooter gets pulled. That one will go back out where they thought, and so 2 missed tick shots.
That's the difference between your 2 stones, eh? First one is good.
Just a bit more weight than what they thought, so with the rule, that stone gets pulled from play.
So the pendulum swinging in Denmark's favour. After 2 misses for the Scots.
Good opportunity to get in behind cover first and look to take advantage. Well, this one bending nicely in there to get right to the forefoot to the button. They'll need a double peel now after missing those 2 tick shots.
And this needs to be spot on from Scott Andrews.
Gets the one. Now Denmark can continue to guard up, double guard the one they have in the top of the button.
Mikael Poulsen from Denmark. The Danes trying to protect what they have. Set for Shite, Russia against the Czech Republic. They're in the 10th end.
Beats 2 to tie, and looks like a chance, make the double, shooter to roll out, and force an extra end. There it is. Andre Drozdov will send that one to an extra end as well.
Oh, the game's really tight out on the ice.
Well, there's a double peel. That clears things up nicely for Scotland. The guard went too deep for Denmark and allowed a good angle. Taylor-made double peel. Comes up a bit more. They might even get the one in the house at the same time. These single guards now even more important.
Up goes another guard.
What do you like? I think just straight peel.
The straight peel is what I was thinking.
Give it a go. This one. Yeah.
Well, they're going to give it a run to see if they can get this out with the intern. Won't do that. We'll straight peel.
Rolig. Fremfart. Plads. Plads. 2. Mikkels. Mikkels plads. 2, 3. Mikkels plads. 3. Til. Det er til. Det kommer tæt i hus.
Well, that one is going to be disappointing sliding into the house. They had to wait, try and go online. Great opportunity for Greg Drummond to get them all. Have the shooter roll off in the process. So this would clear everything up and leave David Murdoch a wide open house for Skip Stones.
If we could get this, it would just make life that bit easier for the Scots. All in the line, all in the line.
Well, catch the one in the house, roll the shooter off to the side.
And back to sheet B, 10th end, United States against Japan.
U.S. lying 2 in the forefoot. Yusuke Morizumi trying to even the record. Has a hit here, can make the double and stick around. And just a clean here. That fist pump there from the front end. And Japan victory. Now they're 1-1. That drops the U.S. to 1-1.
And they've had a lot of support in this game. That's quite a scalp for them. Well played to Japan. 7-6. Final score for each. And our game, our featured game, we're in an extra end. And the Danes doing all they can.
Was the guard by Johnny Fredrickson that slid too deep, not on the right line, allowed the double to be made. Now he gets to hold the broom as his skip gets to throw a peel to keep the center line open. That lone yellow stone in play. So we'll peel that one off.
Good. Nearly.
Now, where does Denmark go with it? What do you want David Murdoch to play?
Well, you want to make it whatever it is. You want him to. Well, yeah. You know he's good at what he does. So let's make it as difficult as possible.
Han brænder ikke åben til at rulle af. Hvis han brænder den her, så vinder vi kampen.
So they're looking to go half into the ring, so he can't hit, has to go around it, and maybe go a little bit wider with the draw path. I think I'd try and just go to a spot in the ice where maybe seen a couple spots on that be the out-turn side, a little bit straighter in the game. Maybe get a hit and roll out and play a 12th and get things set up. Problem is you're asking David Murdoch, a two-time world champion, to miss a draw to full 12-foot or better. Either way, I think he knows it's going to be tough. He's going to need a miss. Just doesn't want him hitting, obviously.
But it's not over till it's over.
Well, this one won't be half into the 12-foot. It's going to be deep in the house. And David will play the hit. Well, won't overthrow this one. David Murdoch, chance, pick up the win.
Hard, boys. Hard, guys. Real hard. Real hard, boys. Real hard. Right to it. Real hard. Real hard. Real hard.
Well, a little panic. Sticks around.
Yep, game over. Victory for Scotland, only just. It was quite a game between these two. Neither side giving too much away, but it is a second win for the Scots. Scotland 5, Denmark 4, final score.
Just the hair down. Hair down on the way. I knew where to let go as I get on it.
Good fight. That was always going to be.
It was. We were struggling the first 5 rounds. Such the work. Didn't beast us too much, though, I think. Happily.
We're just getting set up. We will take you to the extra end between Russia and the Czech Republic over on Sheet A. The lone game remaining on the ice. Well, as we cut over here, Russia with the red stones, Czech Republic with the yellow. It was the double by Russia in 10 to force the extra end. And we now play Czech Republic and Jiří Sneedl with the hammer. Last of third stones here for the Russian third, Alexei Stukalski. Well, trying to get those guards out in front. It looks like the Yellowstone for the Czech Republic. Shot stone at the moment. I'm going to go out and peel this one, no surprise. So, peels off that high centerline guard. You see the yellow is shot stone touching the top of the button. And Russia will call timeout here, this extra end. Russia coming in 0-1, taking on the Czech Republic at 1-1. Skip stones upcoming.
Если фриз, то они будут разбивать, у них сверху будет камень. Да. У нас тут 4 фута надо. А если сюда привести фриз? Сюда это тройной, Лех. У нас гард есть. Трынь. За гард? За гард. А потом, они снимут гард, потом что могут делать?
Trying to decide if they make a move right now.
Если они снимут гард, мы будем
Leslie
играть
Gooden.
от желтого ролла за красный.
Their coach coming out.
Сейчас? Да, я говорю, что вот есть вариант такой вот. Да? Гард бесполезно ставить. У нас вот атака. У нас атака есть. Красный. Наш главное сюда, да? Естественно. Ти-лайн по силе? Ти-плюс? Да, ти. Ти-плюс.
Потому что нам надо вот сюда, чтобы он отошел.
Да. Да.
Время 3:30. Вот так будет. Лоб в крайнем случае.
Но это если вес Ти-плюс, если вес. Не надо, чтобы он сильно сюда вышел. Да.
Нам важно смещение веса.
Я понял.
Well, national team coach for Russia watching on as well.
Согласен? Да.
They determine what shot to play here in order to try and get in for shot stone. Need to steal. Andrei Drozdov, Russian skip. Here his first. Trying to line it up, trying to see if they can maybe tap it, have to tap it up, get shot stone. They won't tap it up for shot, but they'll have an angle to tap it up on their next shot.
Чуть-чуть пониже было, да? Leda byl tam není, vej.
To mizí všechno. To mizí i ta jednička. Podívej se, jak to je.
Decision, because they're so close together, how they try and blast that one out. Do they try and nose it? Nose isn't a bad call. Or try and spill everything. They're going to call a timeout.
prostě poslat sem, zůstat stát nejlepší a zůstat tady před ním.
Asi přesná komora.
Přesná komora.
A nebo ho tady tudy.
Když tady zůstaneme stát, nám zajede sem. A my už se na něj nedostaneme. Bych do toho nepálil.
Já bych ho asi jak jenom vyměnil.
Já bych ho vyměnil.
Já bych asi jako vyměnil.
Ne.
Ne.
Just call their timeout.
On pak jako bude přes
Their
to
coach
naše
Daniel Raphael will come out.
Na nejlepší. Přesně tak, my budeme mít to samý dolů.
Budeme mít jako dvě komory.
No.
Nose hit. I think he's in a bad position because then they're going to have that shooter to use on their next. Unless you just try and blast everything, slash it on the outside to see if you get everything moving.
And hit it nose or try to peel it. Try to peel it. Like this?
All goes?
Well, if ours goes. If it doesn't, fine. But you gotta get rid of those two red.
We can try.
You gotta get the two red away from the fourth one. Or he'll use.
So you think this angle is better?
Yeah. If you're not trying to get it on the outside, you're just trying to get it away from the.
So hit it here.
Yep.
Okay.
It's your typical peel.
Like out turn across the face? No, in turn. Okay.
Well, pretty straight comment there from Daniel Raphael. Play the blast, get it out of there. The problem if you play the nose is you could set something up, an angle that doesn't work in your favor. Here, you smash this one. Try and kick it over the top. It's going to be out of the 4 foot, out of the center line area.
Tak blbě. Okay.
So intern blast. Throw peel weight at it. Should be able to kick this one out to the side. A little extension on the release there. Easy Schneidel. 76% on the game. Try and spill it out. It goes right over the top. Very nice. Good use of the timeout. Have the coach come down. Good input. Says if it even hits that. And I don't think it touched that Yellowstone. I think it went straight across the top. Now watch closely. Does that red touch it? I don't think so. Maybe just straightened it up to go out the side. Was about it. Looks like a pretty good result by Team Czech Republic. They knocked off Norway yesterday. Lost last night to China. This is their only game of the day. And could finish the weekend 2-1 tonight. They will have off and then back on tomorrow morning against Scotland. While Russia coming in 0-2. It's also their only game of the day. They'll be back on tomorrow morning against Denmark. Andrei Drozdov, 73% on his hits, trying to make the little flop behind the corner guard. Well, got to get by the front. Well, chip off the front. Chips rolls away. And now, whose shot? Does the last rock have to be thrown? They will not, as they don't get past the guard. Chips off the front. And it is the Czech Republic moving to 2-1 with the victory. Russia remains winless at this year's World Championship with a 7-6 victory. And Jiří Schneidel and the Czech Republic celebrate a quality victory here this afternoon Well, look back at our feature game, Scotland, Denmark, and we skip to the 7th end. Rasmus Thurn has a chance here. Could draw to the button, figures it's tough. This one has a little bit more reward. The thin double, what he can see. Big weight, past the guard, flips it too thin, just pushes that one back and catches on those stones, and just gets the single. Back in the 8th end after the draw around comes to the top of the 4-foot by Thurn in Denmark. It is David Murdoch now needing 4-foot with his last rock. And David Murdoch and this Scotland team right on the button with that. They get their one. As it needed an extra end after trading singles in 9 and 10. Open hit here for David Murdoch. A well played extra end in order to try and pick up the victory. Move to 2-0 with the open hit. A little worry, but no problem. Sticks around. Johnny Frederickson can't get that one out. And it is a victory for Scotland. 5-4 the final. Scotland 2-0. Denmark 1. Well, Russia, as you saw, lost in an extra end to the Czech Republic. So Czech Republic moves to 2-1, while Russia still winless 0-3. U.S. loses 7-6 to Japan, while Sweden drops a game to China 5-4. Well, as 2 lone teams now sit undefeated, that being Canada and Scotland, they will play this evening. Well, China, Sweden, Czech Republic 2-1. The Swiss 1-1 will be in action in draw 5, as will Norway, the U.S., and Japan all sit with that even 1-1 record. Denmark 0-2 along with Finland, and Russia 0-3. And now a word from Victoria's skip, David Murdoch.
Dave, very well played, 2 wins out of 2, but that was quite a battle out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, those guys are a good team, and they've had their number actually the last couple of competitions we played. So, yeah, it was always going to be a tight one. We started a little bit slower today than we did yesterday, and you know, we just had to adjust a little bit and hang in there. And then we came out the second half and turned it up a bit. So, yeah, it was good to get another win on the board.
What do you think made the difference?
Yeah, with some good build-up ends in the latter half there, and you know, just forcing Rasmus in the 9th end to, you know, make a decision about what, you know, he wanted to be coming up the 10th. And we had a great 10th end, really, you know, and going into that extra end, as long as you can see the button, we've got a great chance of the win.
Is it back of your mind you're playing Canada tonight?
It wasn't before that game, you know. We have to take every game as they come, really. But you know, tonight's the showpiece event, really. If it's Scotland versus Canada, I'm sure it'll be a full house, and you know, those guys look like they're playing real well. So we've got a tight turnaround now with that extra end, so we'll go and get a quick bite to eat and move on.
Well played, well done.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was David Murdoch victorious here in draw 4. We have more action coming up for you in draw 5. It is Scotland against Canada, that marquee matchup. Later on, from myself, Luke Coley, Alison Walker, and the entire crew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later from Victoria, British Columbia.